So I want to throw another question out to the group, and Erica, I'll come to you with this one first, because I think another way to look at it, we talked about challenging those limiting beliefs. So that's one thing to think about, and to how rooted in truth is that limitation that you have, and just trying to work your way through that. The other piece of it, I think, is value and understanding and starting to appreciate your value, how you value not only yourself, but what value you bring to whatever it may be, whether it's work, whether it's family, et cetera, et cetera. So, Erica, from your chair and in your experiences, how have you had to, manage that, prove that, show that, and get comfortable with bringing and having that value, and how that plays into your daily life?
Well, honestly, that's taken a while for me.
Yeah.
And I'm naturally an extrovert, and I think people would, looking at me, probably think that I've just had a wealth of confidence, right? Because I have loving parents and everything. But even, for me, even as an extrovert, it's really taken time to hone in on that. Um, Questioning, like Chris had shared, am I smart enough, or am I pretty enough? Am I nice enough? And really, it's taken, this is my fifth decade, and I still have learned that I have to place my value upon who created me, and that God, when I was born, said that this is good, period. Not this is good, but you know, it could be a little better. It was like this is good. And every day I have to lean upon that, because you're always going to have people that don't like you or say you could do this or that. I had a close friend on one of the videos. Um, I was like, hey, did you watch the video? He was like, yeah, but how come your face was a different color than your neck? So I was like, oh, okay. So I run out to the makeup counter. And that was truly said out of love. That was not a man. He said it out of love. Your face really should be the same color as your neck. But I have to daily base my value upon the belief that the creator knew exactly what he was doing. So that's early when I said I've never met someone who didn't have a self-limiting belief. I honestly, that was the truth. I've never met someone who was 100% confident. I don't care how much money they have in the bank. I don't care what their titles are, where they work. I don't care. Every person that I've met has something that is a challenge to them to get over. And earlier we were talking about parenting. And I think as parents, it's important that our children know that we value them, we believe in them, but also it's important that they see us work through things. Like let your kids see you practice, rehearse, ask them, hey, would you listen to this segment? Would you, hey, how is this outfit? Do you think that this will look okay? Your kids, once they become middle schoolers, they'll be happy to tell you, that's not, I don't think you should be wearing that tie, Dad, or that shoe, no, that shoe doesn't go with that dress, Mom. Where you going with that? You know, include them so that they can learn that we're not these totally invincible people that just always figure we can get it right. I know a couple of years ago, my daughter helped me put together an outfit. I had to go to an event. And then I got to the event, and then I was in my car and I called her and I said, I'm a bit nervous. I'm nervous. And my daughter's an introvert. I'm an extrovert. So she thinks that I can just walk into a room and just do anything, right? Because introverts think extroverts have something magical, and we don't. So I call her. I'm like, well, I'm nervous. She's like, Mama, you got this. Mommy, you got this. You can do this. You look great. You practice. And I needed to hear that. So I think as parents, it's important that our children know that we don't always have it 100% together, that we have to take time out and we practice, and we actually have to psych up ourselves to perform, um, so that they know it's okay if they have to do it too. You know, I, but you asked me about value, and that's what I've been doing to help myself get through things.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Vince, what about you?
It's so interesting hearing that comment about you asking your daughter for advice and support. And that's definitely something that I think about often with my kids too. And, especially since my oldest is an introvert as well. And the two boys are very kind of across the lines, both extroverts and introvert too. And, I thought a long time ago when I was growing up, it was always about, oh, don't cry or don't show your feelings, or feelings are, less than or whatnot. And that goes back to the cultural comment about, be a man or whatever. And when you think about, well, what has all of that culture provided today, where, you know, based on the data, we're at this crazy, crazy level of mental health crises and depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts. And I don't. I'm a huge data person. So when I see this and I hear this and I look at 95% have limiting beliefs, they're all interconnected. So for us to be able to truly show our kids what it's like to grow up and live through this and allow them to figure stuff out and fail, and that mental resiliency piece for me, I think, is the most important above all, because we're not going to be there throughout their entire lives to hold their hand and be there. And I never wanted to be a helicopter parent, that's for one thing too, because I want them to go off, and that's part of the beauty of it. I think that's really the changing that fear base into that challenge base. It's like, how do you look at what can I learn from this experience? What is it that is going to mold me and make me better? And if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. So really changing that kind of like, okay, this sucks. Like we're not gonna lie about this.
Mhm.
This is a sucky situation, but we're gonna get through this. And it goes back to doing it where you're not alone is so much better. But as you said, sharing your process, sharing your understanding, seeing your vulnerability. So for me, actually, especially around this thing, Brene Brown has been a huge, huge resource for me. Just to kind of understand, and she's a shame researcher.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Have you guys watched or heard anything about Brene?
I've just seen a few of her interviews. I need to get her books.
Yeah, do the TED Talk. It's so good.